Hello, welcome again to my little garage. Different angle this time. Usually I sit over there and the camera's here, but I've swapped sides today because I'm going to be showing you how I make biltong, which is a South African delicacy, a snack, and I make it every single week. I make a kilogram at a time, and within a week, that kilogram between the three of us has gone. So it's a bit of a ritual for me. Every week, I make another kilogram of biltong. And if you've never tried biltong, just give this recipe a go, because once you've tried it, you'll be making it probably every week as well. It's in my opinion, it's the best snack in the world, and it's so easy to make. It takes literally about 5 minutes. You've got to wait for the meat to dry. It's a dried meat snack, but your involvement, your actual work, is 5 minutes, and that's it. So 5 minutes in a weekend, and you can get a week's worth of biltong. Not only that, it's cheaper. It's cheaper to make, and it's much better quality than what you can buy. I've bought commercial biltong. There's a garage near me, a petrol station. They sell biltong, 70-gram packs, £3.50. And it's appallingly bad. I mean, it really is bad. Biltong. It's wafer thin. It's got a rubbery consistency. Biltong is dried meat with spices. Why do you think it should be rubbery and plasticky? I don't know. But it's horrible. And it costs £3.50 for 70 grams. I can make a kilogram for about a tenner. And that's using a nice cut of meat. The great thing about making biltong is you can use cheaper cuts and produce something that's even better quality than what you would buy commercially. The biltong that you get commercially in the UK is absolutely horrendous. I don't think these manufacturers have learnt the difference between jerky and biltong. In fact, I think it is jerky, but they're just trying to sell it as biltong because you can charge more. But it's horrendous, and I wouldn't buy any commercially made biltong in Britain. So I make it myself, and that's why I do it. And I make a kilogram or thereabouts every week, and it's gone in a week because it's that tasty. So what do you need? What ingredients do you need? Well, obviously the main ingredient is beef. It's a beef-based snack, and what I use, well, if you look on YouTube, there's lots of videos about how to make biltong, and usually they tell you to use a silver side or top side, and I did that as well for quite some time. And I used to get a big roast, like a 2 kilogram top side or silver side roast, and then I would slice it myself. And if you buy one of those roasts, you will have to slice it yourself into about, say, 2 centimetre slices. And it's important that you slice with the grain, not against the grain. We're not making steaks here. We're making biltong. So you slice along the length of the joint with the grain. And I used to do that every week until I found a cut which I think is perfect for biltong. It's all I make now, if I can buy it. and it's called flat iron steaks. And I get it from my local Morrison's supermarket, and it's about a penny a gram. So for 365 grams, it comes to £3.50. And I bought 3 of these today to make my week's supply of biltong. So it's not the cheapest cut, granted, but it's just perfectly made for biltong, because the flat iron is found in the shoulder, but it's deep inside the shoulder and it does no work. And that makes, from what I've heard, this the second most tenderest cut of beef. So it's really tender, and it's full of beef flavour. It's also an oblong shaped cut, and the grain runs this way, which is exactly what you want for biltong. So the grain runs this way, and it's beautifully marbled. You can get some really nice marbling, so it's really nice and tender. It's a beautiful cut of beef, and a really nice cut of beef, and it's perfect, I think, for biltong. So this is all I do mostly now. My local supermarket, Morrison's, they always have these ready cut and ready sealed, and that's all I use. What I tend to do, and what I'll be doing today, is I'll cut this in half just to make smaller pieces, but I've also just put the whole steak on a dehydrator, and it's worked perfectly. So I use flat iron steaks because it's ready made. It's straight out of the box. The cut of meat is a nice thin long oblong, and that's what you've got here. It's thin, it's oblong, just what you need. So that's what I use. I use the flat iron steak, but traditionally you'll find people using top side or silver side as their cut of choice. Besides this, you will need some vinegar, because you're going to put vinegar on the meat. This will help to tenderize it, but it will also act as a preservative, because don't forget, you're not cooking this, you're going to be drying it. So you need some sort of a protection, a preservative, to stop it going mouldy or infected. And for that, it is simply malt vinegar. That's it, as simple as that. Cheap as chips. Some people like to use fancy vinegars like apple ciders and balsamic and all of this, but malt vinegar, also known as brown vinegar in some countries, that's all you need. It's as simple as that. And then you come to the final ingredient, which is your spices. Now I buy spices. I buy a pre-mixed spice, biltong spice, called Crown National Safari. I'll show it you. Hang on. So here's the spice I use. Crown National Safari. It's made in South Africa. I get it in the UK online. There's people who import it, and I get it by a 2 kilogram at a time. It's not the cheapest. It's about 20 odd quid for this 2 kilograms, but the 2 kilograms lasts me 1 year, because I make it every single week. So this is a really nice biltong spice. I also have another one called Freddie Hirsch, I think it was called. I didn't like that as much as this, so this is my go-to choice. But if you want to try this, but you don't really want to go to the expense of spending a lot of money, you can buy these in smaller quantities, or you can just make a biltong spice yourself. There's only 3 main ingredients: salt, cracked black pepper, and cracked coriander seeds, toasted coriander seeds. And you can do that very simply yourself. Just buy some coriander seeds, put them in a frying pan, and just heat them up until you can start to smell the aromas and the oils are starting to be released, and you've toasted them. So you can do it yourself, or you can just buy some toasted coriander seeds, and it's equal parts salt, cracked black pepper and toasted coriander. But I just, because I'm making it so regularly, I just buy it pre-made by Crown National, and this is their Safari blend, and it's really nice. And that is literally all you need to make biltong, just those three things: the spices, the vinegar, and of course the beef. Now for the spices as well, you can add to that base. So some people will add chili flakes, some people will add garlic powder. You just add whatever you like to eat. So I like to keep things basic. I use the Crown National and I'll leave it at that. Sometimes I'll put in some garlic powder or onion powder. But really it's personally up to you. You can choose whatever spices you like, whatever spices you like to eat. If you like hot, spicy food, then you can put in your chili flakes, chili powder. It really is up to you. You just make the biltong suit your own taste buds, and it's as simple as that. But traditionally, the base is your salt, your black pepper, and your coriander. Okay, so I'm going to move the camera now. I'm going to go down to my chopping board. I've cleaned everything. Everything's sanitised. I'm a home brewer, so I've always got sanitizer on hand. And what I'm going to do is slice this beef up, and I'm going to show you how I apply the vinegar and the spices and what I do with it. Okay, so I'm just going to move the camera now. I'll be back with you in a second. Hello, so I'm ready now. I'm set up to make biltong. I've taken all the meat out of the plastic containers, the trays that they came in, and I've just simply cut each steak in half. So it came as a long oblong sort of shaped steak, and I've just cut it in half to make these thinner strips. And what we're going to do now is put those into a plastic Tupperware container like this. Make sure that the container is big enough to hold all the meat. And what I'm going to do inside this is sprinkle some vinegar. Doesn't need to be a lot, just a little bit. And I'm going to put a bit more in. And I'm going to put a little bit of spice as well, just until there's a thin layer along the bottom, just like that. And then we take each strip and we just press it into the vinegar and spice mix, making sure it's nicely coated, especially in the vinegar. You can always add some more spice as well if you wish. Rub that in. And so you end up with a piece that's nicely covered in the spice and it's got a nice covering of vinegar. And you do the next piece. You don't need to see me you don't need to see me doing all these pieces. So what I'll do is I'll come back after I've finished and I'll show you what it looks like. But there you go, that's another one done. Nicely coated in the vinegar and the spices. Okay, I'll see you in a very short while. Well, hello. All my meat has now been spiced and a little bit of vinegar has been added to each strip. It's not swimming in vinegar. It looks like there's more in there than there actually is. You just need to coat each one basically in vinegar and then rub in the spices. And all you literally do then is just put a top on and put that in the fridge for, I'll be putting it in for about 12-15 hours. It's coming up to 4 o'clock now in the afternoon, so I'll put that in the fridge, and then maybe tomorrow morning about 7 o'clock I will take it out. So it will have had about 15 hours or so in the fridge. And then all I literally do is put this into a food dehydrator, and I just let the meat dry out for 12 to 15 hours. So if I start at 7 o'clock tomorrow morning, by 7 o'clock tomorrow evening, or maybe up to about 10 o'clock, I will then have about a kilogram, just over about 1.1 kilograms of biltong, which I will enjoy for the remainder of the week. It's really easy to make. It took me a bit longer today because of the camera, and I've never really done this foodie sort of stuff before. But normally, to get to this stage takes about, I don't know, 5 minutes, if that. It really is just very simple. Just splash it with vinegar, rub in the spice, and it's done. Now, if you want to make your own spice, you don't want to buy the pre-made spice. All I can say is for the pre-made spice, it's 50 grams per kilogram of meat. So that could be your guide to how much to make. If you've got a kilogram of meat and you want to give this a go, equal amounts of salt, cracked black pepper, and the coriander, and it's 50 grams per kilogram of meat. But there you go. So I'm going to put this in the fridge. It's going to stay there marinating overnight. I will, every now and then, I will just turn it upside down, make sure all the vinegar and the spices are mixed with all the meat, and then tomorrow I'll just load up a dehydrator. Now, some people will have a dedicated, what they call a biltong box, and I'm thinking of making one myself, and I'll video it if I do. They're meant to be very easy to make, just using a plastic, one of those plastic 30 litre, 50 litre containers, transparent containers. They're meant to be very easy to make. The alternative is to buy one, but it costs you, well, I've had a look on Amazon, about £100, but you can make one for about 10 or 15 quid. So it's like, what's the point? So a lot of people use them, and they will hang them and let them actually hang down as they're drying. I don't have one. I have a food dehydrator, but I find it works amazingly well, and it doesn't take as long in a food dehydrator. In the biltong box, it will take 3 or 4 days, but for me it takes 12 to 15 hours. So I quite like that. But I'm thinking of making a biltong box just to see if there is a difference in flavour or texture once this is finished. But when it finishes is up to you. Some people like it soft and juicy, some people like it more firm. I quite like somewhere in the middle, like a medium done, medium rare sort of person. But it's all down to a matter of taste, whether you like it soft or much firmer. But when it's finished, I will take them out the dehydrator, and I will make a follow-up video where I actually taste this biltong that I've made. So it's very simple. Just get yourself some meat, slice it up, or use this flat iron cut of meat and just slice them in half. It's as if that cut of meat was just made for biltong, in my opinion. And just give it a go. You don't have to make a kilogram. You can make whatever the packet is. Just buy one pack. I think it was about 360 grams. So just make that to start with, and give it a go and try it. You won't be sorry. This is, in my opinion, the best snack there is on earth, and I'll easily eat through that. Well, all three of us will in a week. It's just so morish. Okay, so that's it for this video, but I will be making a follow-up where I taste this biltong. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again.